In this video we're going to take the parts we cut on the CNC for our giant wooden handcuffs and we're going to show you how to assemble them. So in terms of the project, you'll have seen the link on the blog entry of where you can get the files and the information on making the chain, so you can assume that's already been assembled there, and you can see part of that assembly process was attaching them to these pieces here, which are going to connect to the actual cuffs themselves. In addition to the other parts we've cut that you can see on the table here and that you'll have the files for, we also need some dowels. And again, on the blog entry I'll make sure that I include information about the sort of best length for these dowels. We've got 4 thicker pieces of dowel. You can see one of them is already in here, and then we've got 6 smaller pieces of dowel. There are 4 here, as you can see, and then 2 others that have already been put into these pieces here. This is the little rocker that will actually create a ratchet for the cuffs. Now the only other thing I've done at this stage is to take this part inside here and actually notch that out so that the elastic band has got something to connect to. And I've done the same with these parts here, so you may not be able to see on the camera there, but just on the outside edge of these, so the one that's opposite to the part with the shape sticking out here, I've just notched that in with a file to create something that's just going to make sure the elastic band stays wrapped around the end there. And then I've done the same on the inside here at the top of these with a chisel, just chiseled that area out on the back side of these in order to give something for the elastic band to connect to. So we're just going to assemble one of these, one side of the cuffs here. You can see I've already got this dowel in here. To seat these, you can just push it in, or maybe you want to give it a tap with a mallet just to make sure that's well seated in there as well. Next thing we want to do is take some of our smaller dowels here and put those into these locations. So again, I just want to push that in there, and again just give that a little lock in to ensure that's in there. The ideal worktop this for putting something together, but it'll do. Next we're going to take this part and we can slide that onto those dowels there. So this should fit on, maybe a little bit of a tight fit, so you just need to get it started on there. You may need to a little push and then just work its way down onto there. And that should leave a little bit of dowel out the top there, which is going to make the top half of this assembly. Next we're going to take one of our rockers here. I say I've notched out the back and I'm going to attach elastic band. These elastic bands are a little bit larger than I'd really like to use for this. So I'm going to double them over and then I'm going to place that into that section there, and I'm just going to make sure that sits around the end there. So hopefully you can see that now, that this has basically got a bit of play and the elastic will just make it attach back in there. So this will all get closed in with the top assembly in a moment. Next we've got the grooved part here that's going to come in and will swing around onto this. So again we need to attach a larger dowel in the top here, so we'll just start that off, give it a push, and then just make sure that's fully in there. This should slide over with it and have a bit of movement, and then you can kind of test out the mechanism there, so you can see that latching on, and it will push and move these through and all the way around and swing around like a regular set of handcuffs. So now if we want to notch that in there, we should be able to put the top side of this on. So I'm going to grab our other piece here, and then we just need to make sure this is going to seat onto each of those dowels, which hopefully will happen without too much trouble. And again, we may just want to give this a little knock to make sure it's together, and in theory we now have a completed cuff which works there. So just to show how the opening mechanism works. There's just a little hole in the bottom there. You can take something like a screwdriver or a dowel or something that will fit in there. You can make your own little key. It doesn't need anything special. That just pushes up and that allows you to release the rocker there and on the elastic band, and a single rocker that just notches that back in again, so we can push it in, release it and open the handcuffs, and they can go in and once more they'll lock. So the other cuff is assembled in exactly the same way. Let's go ahead now and take a look at that. So we'll just kind of move this over. So we'll get this part here. And just twist that over there. And so again, we're just going to need to take these two smaller dowels, pop those in, just give them a good push down. Just lock that put our dowel in the middle here and make sure it's well bedded in there. Take our elastic band, just double it over, as I said in this case, could probably do with a slightly smaller elastic band, put it round the notch there, put that on there and then just let that sit around the end of that piece there. And I've actually so I need to put this bit on. I've kind of worked on that a little bit prematurely, so I should have put this piece on first really, although you can, with a little bit of effort, get that in so that it notches on and push that down there. So now it's notched on, so slightly out of order for the things that we wanted to do. Now this piece in the top here, just give it a that. Push that into there. This part again, so that notch is in there. And again, we'll just spin this around and locate the different parts of this. So get that on the end there. Apply a bit of extra force, and that all looks good. And that completes our totally useless but kind of interesting novelty giant wooden handcuffs. Thanks for watching this video. You can get the files for this project from the Vectric Labs blog site, and if you want, you can make your own pair of not very useful giant wooden handcuffs. Thanks very much.